Hi guys, I want to share with you one of my favorite comics ever created, Wednesday's Comics from DC. It was a newspaper print weekly series that came out with a bunch of the top creators at the time doing whatever character they thought would be cool. And I just adore this book. So I'm going to show it to you guys. I mean, they went all out in the design. Art Chuchetto did an amazing job. Each corner has the newspaper print, like a comic strip in it. And it's huge, 11 by 17. Came in little comic stacks like that. Some of the creators in it, they got Batman by Brian Azzarello and Eduardo Rizzo. Commandy by Dave Gibbons and Ryan Sook. Superman by John Arcudi and Lee Bermejo. Deadman by Dave Bullock and Vinton Heck. Green Lantern by Kurt Busiek and Joe Quinones. Metamorpho by Neil Gaiman and Mike Allred. Teen Titans by Eddie Berganza and Sean Galloway. Paul Pope did Strange Adventures and just crazy stuff. And then you had Supergirl by Jimmy and Amanda. Metal Man by Dan Didio and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Wonder Woman by Ben Caldwell. Sergeant Rock and Easy Company by Adam and Joe Kubert. The Flash by Carl Kerschel and Brendan Fletcher. Demon and Catwoman by Walt Simonson and Brian Stelfreeze. Hawkman by Kyle Baker. Plastic Man by Evan Dorkin and Steven DeStefano. And Beware the Creeper by Keith Giffen and Eric Canetti. So, I mean, murderer's row of comic book creators. I like this little step up. Mark Ciccariello did the intro on it, and he did an early design of like what a Batman comic and had used Tim Sale's artwork on it. Just cool stuff. Here's the Batman story. And I like how they collected it, with each page being one part of the story and all the stories kept in numerical order. So just a cool series. And the artwork it just gave me the fun of running home and trying to get the newspaper, or being in school and going to the library and open up the Sunday strips, because they would have the Sunday's papers in there. You could read all the comic strips in it. And this was a perfect fit for all the creators, because they got to choose who they wanted to do. And when you get a creator that's happy to work with some kind of character, then you get great things out of it. And they got some great things out of it. The end of the Batman strip. And then this is the Commandy one by Ryan Sook and Dave Gibbons. Ryan Sook is a very underrated artist. He's so great. He draws everything really cool, really realistic, and who doesn't like humanistic animals walking around? The only one part that I wish they would have used was maybe like use a newsprint for the paper to get that feel of an old type Sunday strip, but it probably wouldn't have reproduced as well as it did on this paper. Here's the Superman page by Arcudi and Bermejo. Here's a dead man. It's nice to see, you know, different instead of the mainstream. Of course, you're going to have your Wonder Womans and your Batmans and your Supermans, but it's nice to see secondary characters like Deadman and Commandy get some respect shown their way. Green Lantern. I really enjoy Kurt Busiek. He's the one that wrote Green Lantern. And Joe Quinones I love too. He did Howard the Duck and some Peter Parker Spectacular Spider-Man with Chip Zdarsky. Kyle H. for Hero for DC. You got Metamorpho, Element Man. I love Mike Allred's art. I think the unsung heroes are the colorists. Like Laura Martin did an amazing job, and she always does an amazing job. I love that Chutes and Ladders, or Snakes and Ladders. Just interesting designs and stuff like that with all the layouts. Because you can do so much with one page, but you're also limited with what you can do on one page per story, but it's just a perfect combination. There's Sean Galloway doing Teen Titans. Got some Paul Pope, Adam Strange. I never met Paul Pope, but I always like his artwork. I do have some autographs from him for a weird story. I was at a used bookstore in Chicago and bought a couple Paul Pope books, like Battling Boy and a bunch of other ones, 100%. And I opened up, they're all signed. They were all signed by Paul Pope to a Carol or Carrie or something like that. I can't remember. I don't have the books with me right now. But yeah, she must not have wanted to keep them, I guess. But there's Jimmy and Amanda doing Supergirl. I like Jose Luis Garcia Lopez's artwork. He did this DC style guide. So if you look, I mean, if characters look recognizable, or he did the style guides for DC with, so any promotional or product that was going to be sold for t-shirts or any kind of like that, he drew what artists they would hand this Bible to these artists, these style guides to them, and that would show how to draw Superman from every angle and Wonder Woman from every angle. So it really unified the artwork and the character look of all these characters for DC. I'm sure Marvel had somebody do this at theirs, but I remember one time it got released, the entire style guide got released a long time ago, and it was cool just to look at and see the designs. And they finally, a couple years ago, re-released it for the public use. And I own a copy of it somewhere at my house. But this is Wonder Woman by Ben Caldwell. This is Joe Kubert working with his son, Adam, on Sergeant Rock. Joe was famous for doing Tarzan and war comics, Sergeant Rock in particular. So to see him and his son working together on this is just something really cool. Adam wrote it and Joe drew it, and Flash by Carl Kerschel. I like his artwork. I just wish he would do more things, because he's just a phenomenal artist. I mean, anytime I see that he's attached to a project, I buy it. So, but yeah, Carl is amazing. Demon and Catwoman. Walt Simonson did the writing on it. Just real cool. I always liked the Demon as a character. James Herron's doing the newest DC book with him in it. I can't wait. I love James Herron's art. Brian Stelfreeze, I love his art too. He's just an amazing artist. He does beautiful watercolors. And this is Hawkman by Kyle Baker. I loved his Plastic Man series. It was so good. And in the back matter, they got a bunch of prelims and drawings to get ready for the series. Ryan Hughes did the design. I love that. That's so cool. Like stuff that couldn't fit in, like the Flash science crossword puzzle. There's the auto art creators bios. So yeah, just a great book. Fun. Reminded me of my childhood.